Hey YouTube, alright, let's talk about companions. Companions. Alright, let's have a look. So, if you click on the N key, and you go to Heroes, and you scroll down to Wanderer, it's going to show you a list of companions. Now, it will not always have all the companions. Like if you start a new game, it's going to show you maybe 20, and then as you go around, the list will grow, and the game will actually spawn new companions. So like for this playthrough, this Sturgeon playthrough that I just started, I didn't look at the list when I started the game, and I was progressing through, and when I bought my first workshop, and then I looked at the list, and there was no doctors, there was no healers, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So all right, before we go through this, let's quickly look at your own character. So this game, the skills don't really matter that much. I've tried so many builds. I've played over 1,000 hours. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit it, but there was lots of downtime during this funny 2020. I've done builds where I've put all my points into intelligence, and I had 5 into medicine, and it just doesn't work. Leveling medicine is really slow, even if you do kind of like some tricky kind of things. It takes forever to level medicine. So you definitely always want to have a healer as a healer companion. So the companions, essentially, wherever you're weakest, they'll fill in that spot. So if I don't have tactics and I want tactics, you don't really use it, but anyway, say if I wanted tactics, then I could go get a companion with high tactics. And then when we had a situation, so one of the situations for tactics is say a big army catches me, and I'm like, oh no, we can't win this. There's no way we can win this. So they will give you an option to try and escape. But what they do is they'll tell you 25% of your army or 10% of your army, or it dies. Essentially, you have to sacrifice some troops to get away. But this way you don't lose your whole army. I've only done it twice, I think, but it sucks at the same time. But losing 25% of your army, especially if you've like really designed like a hardcore army that's going to be kicking butt, and it's took you like 3 hours to do, because especially in this playthrough we're designing a Fian army, and Fians aren't easy to get. So anyways, so wherever you're weakest, so say if I didn't want to level Steward, I could just have one of my companions that had a high Steward. We could just use her skill. So I could say, hey, your Steward skill is higher than mine. It's 113. Let's make you the quartermaster. Okay. So, and then by doing that, when you would go to how many troops I'm allowed to have, this would go up. So now we're allowed to have 98 troops as our maximum. We're only clan tier 2 right now. But so when she's quartermaster, I'm allowed 98. Now my skill at Steward's 59 right now. So if I go back, switch it to quartermaster, hit done, go back. Now you see I'm only allowed to have 84 troops. 98, 84. It's not that big of a deal, I guess, but anyways, that skill, it actually levels really fast anyways. So the main thing is, my main point is your build. You can use companions for pretty much everything down here in these lower 9. I'm going to be leveling Steward because it's really easy to level, and everyone needs to level it. And I'm going to be leveling leadership because leadership is really important. So Other than that, and actually I have to we have to level charm a bit. So, but engineering, I can get a companion for. Medicine, I can get a companion for. Scouting, I can get a companion for. And tactics, I can get a companion for. Even roguery, I can get a companion for. And even trade, I can get a companion for. So, I think it's better to put your points into fighting because it's a fighting game. Have fun and fight. I always max out athletics, and that's what we're actually trying to do with this playthrough right now in the early game, is trying to get this up as high as we can. It's a hard skill to level in mid game, late game. You want to level it in early game. Okay, so let's look at the companions. That said, you want to get good companions that have that complement you. So if I'm not going to work on scouting, which I'm not for this build, then I need a really good scout. All right, number one, I need a really good scout. Number two, I'm going to need a really good doctor. All right, so I need a scout and a doctor. Those are the two most important. All right, so go to N and you can quickly look, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can just, every city you go to, you can kind of pick and look and look. So essentially, you can just go through each of these and have a look, and it'll tell you their best skills. Or you can play the game lots and kind of start memorizing what the last names mean. So each of the last names kind of means something. So like a cow thief, these guys usually are scouts. So you look, yep, he's a scout. And you'll see there'll be I think there's two cow thieves. Wasn't there two cow thieves? I thought there was two. Lum, horse thief. Okay, so Lum the horse thief, he's also has scouting. He's a better scout than that previous guy, but he's only 100. There is 140 scouts, and the 140 scouts have the last name Wastes. So here you see this guy, Lath of the Wastes, has 140 scouting. So you would definitely go pick him up. He also has awesome athletics, awesome bow, and a good two-handed. So this guy is awesome, and we'll probably pick this guy up. We have his, I guess maybe we have his brother. Okay, we picked up this guy. So that other guy wasn't available when I picked this guy up, but they're the exact same thing. They're carbon copy. They just have different names. So this guy would be a valuable guy. We definitely will add him to our party at some point. So there was no doctors. Okay, so that's our scout. So we picked up Nidir. He's part of our clan, and then once you've picked him up, you go to him, you click on him, and you give him the scout role. Done. Now you're scouting for your whole, while he's in your party, your scouting is 140. Your party's ability is 140. So now we can see 20.4. I don't know what kind of units this is, but you can see it says base 12, scout 8.4. So we can see that much further. Without him, our vision is reduced by about 40% or 50% almost. So, okay, so that's scout taken care of. So like I said, when I first looked, there was no doctors, but we went and searched, and finally I guess they spawned me one. So there's only one doctor on the list right now. They should spawn more as the game progresses. But so the doctors, they go by the last name Healer, obviously, Willowbark, Bitter Draft, and sometimes there's a last name called Scholar. Oh yeah, there's also Surgeon and Scholar. But sometimes the Scholar is a doctor, like he has high medicine, or sometimes he has high engineering. And actually the Scholar ones, they have really high medicine. They have like usually 120, and that's what you want. Unfortunately, like I said, there was only one doctor, and she only has 61 medicine, so kind of sucks, but oh well, not much you can do. When other doctors spawn, I'll pick them up. So those are the two primary ones you have to get. You have to get scouting and you have to get medicine. Now you can ditch these guys. You know what? I find a really awesome doctor, and then I decide I don't want this girl anymore. You just kick her. Just take her gear and kick her. That's it. You lose the money that you paid, but she only costs like 500 gold and whatever. I'm making right now we just bought we have just bought a third workshop, hasn't registered yet, but right now that's a 2 workshop, so we're making plus 631 right now, so no big deal. You can kick them. So I've already actually I picked up somebody, looked at their stats and was like, ugh, this person sucks, and I just hit kick and off they went. Okay, the other really good ones, they have the last name Spice Fender, and sometimes this guy, Peta the Black, she can be good. So let's go to the list and I'll show you, just kind of give you a quick rundown. You just have to, each game that, you know, you're gonna have to have a look. So obviously an engineer would be valuable. 80 engineering. The skill doesn't seem to be, I don't know, I find engineering, I don't even really need it, and as long as you know how to do the siege and how to do it correctly, you don't really need high engineering. Like I said, I actually made an engineering build and it was a complete waste of points. So so the best ones I think usually are, if you want a super awesome fighter, which I don't really think you need in the game, because, you know, what's the difference just having a you know, a tier 5, tier 6, like a legionnaire? Why would you need this guy? It just, one of your troops is the exact same, you know. The only difference is Blood Axe doesn't die, you know, he gets wounded and he always comes back. But I just don't really see the point in getting like heavy melee people. I will definitely grab people that are really good with bow and something else. So when I ran across Peta, she had scouting, she had roguery, she had a bow, and so she's valuable. She can lead her own party, and then also when you actually look, you gotta look deeper too into their stats and see how where the skill points are. So she's got, it's always good for a companion to have like lots of skill points in intelligence. You know, it's really good if they've already got like the bow's max pretty much. I'm not going to put any more points into that. This is maxed already. I'm not putting any more points to that. If I need to throw her on a horse later, we might put some skill points in this, but she has endurance 1, so why bother? Let's just keep her on foot. You know, she has vigor 2. Why bother putting any points up here? She has a 122 handed. Keep her as an archer and keep her as a, you know, a leader of a party maybe, right? She, though, you look down here, you look, with only 1 point in medicine, she can grow all the way up to 70, and then you start putting points into here, which is important. If she's leading a party, you want that party leader to have medicine. That's why actually I like, if I have the option after I have my scout, I'll pick all doctors if there's like 5 doctors available, because their skill points are usually in the bottom 2 columns, which, you know, if they're going to be, if you're going to have them running a caravan, then you want them to have high trade. So this girl, you look at her, like on paper she's okay, you know, she's got the bow, the athletics, the scouting, the roguery, but she can develop. She has 5 down here, and we can develop her. She's only level 13, so she's got about 7 more points that you're going to be able to put in. And I could even, like, she has 1 point in trade, so you could even quickly throw her on a caravan, and after she goes around the map for a little while, and then eventually she gets captured, she's going to have like 50 in trade. So she's going to level herself, which is really useful. Anyways, so the main thing with companions, doctors and scouts, and then you want the spice vendors, because they have trade and they also have really high Steward. And then yeah, just look at their stats. You don't need anyone like that just has some fighting stats. There's no difference between this guy and a legionnaire who's just a troop that you can just buy. Like, there's 0 point in picking up these guys. They're just a waste of a spot. Unless you mod, you're only gonna, right now I'm tier 2, and so we have 5 spots. Each time you go up a tier, you'll get 1 more companion. Each time you go up, you're going to get 1 more companion. So you have lots of spots, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of spots. So you don't want to waste them on just guys who swing an axe. You know, make sure they have extra benefit to your party. High medicine is always good for leading their own party. High steward's always good for leading their own party. And scouting, you know, those 3 are really the best 3. If they're leading their own party, you want them to be able to see other parties that could maybe, or that, you know, that are stronger than them, so they run away and they don't get caught as easy. So that's it. That's my companion's guide. Just one last note, like I said, you can kick people, so you can buy them. Like the companions aren't too expensive anymore. Most of them are about 500 dinars, but there's a few that are 2,000, and the reason why they're 2,000 is because they actually come with some gear, and but even 2,000 is not a big deal. Look at them, see if you like their stats. Sometimes their stats are just really gimped. They'll have a bunch of 1s in certain categories which are maybe really important, and you're just like, wow, this person's not going to level very good. You're not going to be able to level them the way you want. So just kick them and go find someone else. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.